What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Moon Lagoon. I'm Lucid. If you are new here, thank you for clicking on this video. If you're not new, then welcome back, and I'm glad you still like listening to me for some reason. So today, this video... Sorry, I'm being distracted by my phone. Hold on. She said... Okay, anyway. We're going to talk about the moon through the signs. So we already did the sun signs, which is your outer personality, your basic personality that you show to everybody, how you basically go about your everyday life. You are when the sun is out, basically. And now we're going to talk about the moon sign. The moon sign is your inner nature, it's your emotional nature, it's how you respond to stimuli that rises up in you through your emotions, how you'll respond emotionally. Also, sometimes your hidden nature, the side you don't always necessarily show to people, something that takes a little bit longer for people in your immediate circle to see. It comes with time for most people. Some people are a little bit more open. That depends on the moon placement too, probably. So I'm just going to go through each sign in the moon placement, give you some little tidbits about what their personality might be like. And yeah, Aries moon. Okay. My mom is an Aries moon. I don't know a lot of Aries moons, so just based on what I've read, studied about Aries moons, it is a fire energy, and anytime you have fire in a moon placement for emotions, your emotions are going to be like fire. It's going to be rapid, quickly felt, passionate, intensely felt. So in Aries, in a moon placement, Aries is the first sign, so it's kind of childlike in nature, and in the emotional placement of the moon sign, it's going to make someone who is like... They're very romantic, but in like a very childlike way. They just like are very ready for love and to have fun and excitement, and a lot of times an Aries energy in a moon placement will make them very like, come on, let's go, let's do this. Kind of like the sun placement, but with their emotional nature, emotional response. So things will make them happy very quickly, make them upset very quickly, but like just as quick as they get mad, as quick as they'll be fine. An Aries moon is like a warrior spirit. They are tough people. They are not going to back down from anything. They are strong. They have drive. They have that Mars passion behind them in an emotional way as well. So like if you hurt somebody that they love, you're about to die, basically. They are ready to win at all costs, even if that is like more Mars energy. Like even if they actually have to literally get into a fight, they can be very combustive with their emotions. I only know one Aries and moon placement, and they can get very loud when they are emotionally upset, because your moon sign will be how you respond to things emotionally, as well as your Mars sign. So you have to take that into account. But as far as just the moon sign goes, they're going to have a very fiery, quick, me-centered response, because Aries is first and foremost thinking in terms of their own mind. So they're going to be very quick to be upset or very quick to be angry and happy, and then just go to the next emotion and keep it going. So yeah, I think that's a good one for them as far as like their basic emotionality goes. Taurus moons. Okay, so they actually say, I want to say, I heard that Taurus moons are, it's like an exalted placement. It's a really good placement for that sign to be in. So Taurus is comfortable in a moon placement. And as far as Taurus moons go, I think I know one, and they definitely all love creature comforts. When it comes to their emotional nature, they like to feel emotionally safe, emotionally comfortable. They like to have a safe surrounding in which to express themselves. So a lot of Taurus moon people are going to have a very strong, steady, emotional nature, but also feel that when they are emotionally upset or emotionally happy, that they're going to want to do it in a way that feels comfortable to them. And be kind of stubborn with how they express their emotions, because they need that comfort, but it's a very loving placement. They are very steadfast as far as like emotions leading to other people and to themselves. They are known for loving, like just staying inside, cuddling up. They might, even if they have a fire placement for their sun sign, when it comes time to go home, they can get real comfy. They get their blankets, they want to watch their favorite movie, eat their favorite snack. They want to do all of that. That Taurus moon energy also like makes them very steadfast, like in love relationships and romantic partnerships. They're going to be someone who's always there for you, who stays true to how they're feeling, but also lets you stay true to how you're feeling too. And then you guys just like hug, and you're just like, oh, I love you. Like very like that Tarian five senses thing, that it comes with the emotions. They like in their emotions, they see it, they smell it, like it kind of just all envelops around them. I just imagine like a big hug when I think of a Taurus moon. Like I was saying with the Aries sign, since it's fire placement in the moon sign, it's going to be those quick, fiery, bursting emotions, but Taurus is an earth sign, so it's going to be very sensual, grounded, stable type of emotional nature. They're not going to get easily like up and down an emotional roller coaster. They're pretty much like the earth, very strong and stable. But I do know that the Taurus moon that I do know of, she likes to like with that stubborn Taurus nature. When she feels something, she feels that way, and you can't tell her like that she should feel another type of way about something. Like you can offer your advice if she's coming to you with something, but how she inherently felt to begin with is probably still how she's gonna feel. Gemini moons. Okay, I think Gemini moon placement is really interesting placement to have, because when you have an air sign in a moon placement for emotions, people think that that means you aren't emotional, but it doesn't mean that. It means that you intellectualize your emotions. Someone who has a Gemini moon placement is going to connect their emotional nature and their mental nature together, especially with the twin element of just being a Gemini in general. I know as far as like the twin nature goes, when they feel something emotionally, they're going to send that emotion up to their brain, then they're going to analyze it from all these different angles, and like not necessarily whatever made them feel that way is not even going to be the main subject at that point anymore. They're going to have taken whatever it is they're feeling and have turned it into such a mental observation and like analyzation that you don't really see them become emotionally upset about things, because they take whatever they're feeling and they get like inquisitive about it or curious about it. They want to understand like, I wonder why that made me feel that way, or I wonder why this, why that. They don't let those emotions take them down. They bring them up to their mind and they analyze them that way. I do think that a lot of Gemini moons probably are good people to go to when you need advice on something relationship wise, where they can bring in a intellectual aspect to your emotions if you have a hard time doing that, which is something maybe the next sign might have trouble doing, which is Cancer moons. Cancer moon is like the super most mooniest placement you can have, because Cancer is ruled by the moon. So when Cancer is in the moon sign, it makes you super in touch with your emotions, super visceral feeling when it comes to your emotions. They're going to have probably some kind of strong connection, or if there's a harsh aspect in the chart, disconnection with the mother in their life, or motherly figures, or just women in general. Because they have that moon influence doubled, most Cancer moons are very intuitive, they're very empathetic, they can really feel other people's emotions really deeply in a lot of ways that other people can't understand. So when they're like really in something, they're like, the depths that they can go to are pretty deep. Not as deep maybe as a Scorpio moon, but they're still there, and they're still feeling everything. And they are definitely, when water is in this emotional like moon sign placement, it makes them even more in touch with their emotions. It doesn't ever really go up to the mind. It stays really deep in the heart, and they're definitely lovers instead of fighters. Most Cancer moons are very sweet. They're very kind and nurturing and understanding. They're usually like the kind of like the mom friend placement, and people will come to Cancer moons for advice, or if they need a hug, or they need someone to give them that emotional support that they need. Leo moons. Okay, so I really like Leo moon placements. I didn't know a lot of Leo moons for a really long time, but I started being able to really notice them when I do find them, because there's just like, even no matter what their outside sun placement is, you can kind of like feel that they have so much fire like brimming underneath. And especially when they do smile, it feels like the smile is coming from within, if that makes sense. It is a fire placement, so instead of like the way that an Aries might have felt that quick, fiery, burny emotion that just kind of zooms in and out, Leo's is more of like a strong, burning, like almost grounded fire in a way, I guess I would explain it. Leo moons are definitely going to want to like express themselves in a creative way, in a very like passionate, like, just imagine like a sun bursting, basically. That's how I imagine they express themselves when they decide to express how they feel about something. It's going to be very grand and intense and passionate and full of strong knowing about what they feel. So, Virgo moons. I feel so much for Virgo moons, because I don't think necessarily that it's in detriment here, but it is a hard placement to have. A Virgo moon naturally is already very analytical and can be very like self-critical. So when you put that in your moon placement, which is your inner nature, something you don't always show, that definitely means that you can put that Virgo nature onto yourself. They can be very self-critical, but they are also very like, with the way that they feel inside and the emotions they have inside, they long to make those things practical and useful to other people. So they want to make how they're feeling or the things that other people cause them to feel something that can be useful to them or practical to them. So sometimes they may take how they're feeling and be like, how can I make this, how can I better myself with how I'm feeling about this? Or what can I do to help them about how they're feeling? They take what you're feeling and turn it into practicality. And some people don't like that, but that's because they can't help it. They live to serve. Most Virgo moons really like a routine in their life. They really like to have stability that is a part of their routine every day. Like, I know I do this, and then I do this, and then I do that, I keep this clean, and blah, 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 blah. Like, they're very routine in how their inner, like, home probably is set up. We need that routine. I know a lot of Virgo moons are very, like I said, even though they're self-analyzing and self-critical on the inward side, they can also be very observant and analytical of people always around them, very aware of how other people are acting, things they like and don't like, noticing things that might not be adding up to what they said they did. Like, they're very, like, good at picking up little pieces people leave around because they organize. That's what they do. So the next sign is Libra moons, and I feel like if I had to think of, like, a good overall aesthetic is like Moulin Rouge feels very Libra moon to me, especially when he's like, the greatest gift you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. That seems very Libra moon to me. I feel like Libra moons definitely come out of the womb meant for like some great romantic love story. They are very much involved in the world of love, and that's because Libra is exalted in Venus, which is the sign of love and romantic and, you know, friendship partnerships. So putting that in the emotional moon sign makes them always constantly thinking of things from their emotional responses in a way that reflects on their romantic partnerships or their friendships. Everything is very much related to how they are interacting with other people in their lives. As far as like their balancing aspect goes for the scales, they definitely do this a lot, not just even with like their emotions. Like, they feel their emotions deeply and they feel how other people are feeling, but then they also, the scale has to be balanced when they're feeling all of this with, like, you know, their logic. So then they kind of take this and they try and use their detachment from their air placement, because Libra is an air sign, and try and like also think about, okay, well, do I really feel this way, or maybe I should feel this way, or this and that. They can be very indecisive when it comes to love and romantic partnerships. Even with the scales doing like the emotional detached thing, they also do it as far as like finding a neutral ground in most situations, because they are naturally diplomatic and they are usually like how Cancer moon is the mom friend. Libra moon is like the friend that tries to help like arguments between friends and try and find like, well, you know, you did this, but you also did that. So I mean, like, you can't really, like, they want to stay in that middle ground. They don't pick sides. They play devil's advocate a lot. They definitely have a natural understanding of like the beautiful things in this world, and like I always say aesthetics when I talk about Libra placements, but they really are. It just like reminds you of like a scene in a movie where there's like a montage of like people running through a city and they like stop in a bookstore and then they like fall into the books and kiss, and then they like run out to a park and sitting under the star. Like that's what Libra moons probably think about in their head a lot. Like they're probably always daydreaming about romantic stuff. Like they're very it's a very romantic placement, like Taurus moons, but not as grounded as a Taurus moon. A lot more like, oh, just love, I love love kind of thing. So that's what I think about Libra moon. Scorpio moons. Okay, so I know, actually, I didn't even realize this for a while, but I actually know a lot more Scorpio moons than I thought I did. From my personal experience, they are the moon placement that feels emotions the deepest. When they feel hurt, they are feeling the exact wavelength of hurt. When they are feeling love, they are feeling that way. Like, they feel things exactly where that feeling is at in whatever wavelength that it is. I think that makes sense how I explain that. They take things so, like, their heart is like open and raw all the time to things that they feel. And I know, I think for most Scorpio moons, it's like they know that they feel things very deeply, and they know that things can hurt them very deeply, but they can also love very deeply. So, but they're not afraid to like dive deep. A Scorpio moon placement is someone that you can talk about anything with if they are comfortable with you and they trust you. You can go like, they'd be perfect for like deep emotional healing. They'd be great people to talk about deep emotional healing things with, because they understand that world. They are very complex. They are very profound. Have a lot of intense, real love in their placement that a lot of people won't be able to understand, and they know that, but they use that emotional world that they live in to guide them. That's how they navigate through life, is by that emotional instinct that they have inside, and that emotional curiosity for going deeper into themselves and for people around them should they be interested. They are prepared for that, but they also are very self-protective at the same time, because they know no one else is really going to understand how hard things feel to them, or how real things feel. No one's gonna be able to feel that like intense emotion that they do. So a lot of times Scorpio moons may hide that from you for a very long time, and the emotions that they feel come in waves throughout, like every day. I think a Scorpio moon might have like an emotional onslaught of things that are deep down inside of them once a day, and that can be overwhelming emotionally for them and for people around them. I want to say most Scorpio moons, because they feel that emotion every day, that means they are like thinking or reflecting on so many things that it brings up. So they are like transforming themselves emotionally every day. They are very intense. It's a very intense placement to have, and it depends on what house it's in and how it's aspected that can affect this. But most Scorpio moons are naturally attuned to like the deeper, darker parts of life in the spiritual world. They're definitely not somebody you want to mess with. That's all I'm saying. I mean mess with, like, don't make them angry. You can, like, they're very loving. They're very deep. They have a very deep love for you, but you need to give them time to open up. Sagittarius moons. Sagittarius moons are very... I have a friend with a Sagittarius moon, and she reminds me of Pocahontas so much. I just get Pocahontas vibes every time I see her. I'm like, she's ready to take off her shoes, just go run into the forest and be free and fly just around the river bend off to a new adventure. That's what a Sagittarius moon feels like to me. They are a true free spirit. They are a adventurer. The earth is their playground. They make the whole world their experience of life. Like, they don't live inside a bubble. Everything around them is a part of their experience. I feel like that Pocahontas thing is just like the perfect analogy for a Sagittarius moon, because they're always ready for another adventure, another experience in life to teach them. They're always ready to learn. They're always ready to grow. Nothing in this world feels like it's not supposed to be a part of their world. They're very comfortable wherever they go. They can naturally just find their way anywhere they travel to. I want to say, as far as like the emotional part of this goes though, their emotions, when they feel it, kind of like Aries, Leo placements, that fire, when they feel it, but it doesn't take control of them. They feel that love, they're going to feel it, and they're not going to let it be a bad thing. If they feel that anger, they're going to feel it, and it's not a bad thing. It's just how they feel. They're very honest and real with how they feel about things, and it can be seen as blunt, just like the sun in Sagittarius placement, but when it comes to their emotions, they also know how to take what they're feeling and learn from it and make it a valuable lesson into growing who they are as they continue throughout the world. So as far as their emotional response goes to things, they're going to be the friend that you can go to who's going to give you the real, honest advice, but also deliver it in a way that can be very optimistic about what you can learn from it from then on. It's not going to be like they offer advice and then like, yeah, so everything sucks. They're going to offer you that advice and be like, but you learned this and this and that, and now you can go do this. And I think that's I think it's an auspicious placement to have, as so long as when it comes to romantic partnership, your partner understands that when you have a Sagittarius moon, you can't be tamed. You have to feel free. Your partner needs to feel free with you. So definitely keep that in mind for Sagittarius moon people who are interested in Sagittarius moons. Capricorn moon. Ooh, okay. I dated a Capricorn moon, and I saw this placement come out more as we got to know each other, obviously because he was an Aries sun, but imagine the Capricorn personality, which is very hardworking and studious and driven and very practical and earthy about things, and then put it in the emotional placement of the moon sign. And the moon is ruled by Cancer, so the opposite sign of Cancer on the wheel is Capricorn. So this can be considered at its detriment to have Capricorn here. And it doesn't mean that Capricorn moons don't have emotions. It just means that the way they process emotions aren't going to be in the natural, most easy way that most people go about feeling what they feel and expressing how they feel to other people. They can be emotionally resilient. They can really soldier their emotions, and like whatever it is they're feeling is not going to be expressed to you. It's not going to be expressed to anybody. You're not going to see the emotional response. It's going to be taken inwardly and then it's going to be a lesson for themselves, something they're learning inside. They're not going to tell you, I'm feeling this way and this is what I'm learning about it or how I'm thinking about it. They're going to feel whatever it is they're feeling and just keep it in their mind and analyze it for themselves to build on and grow from, without sharing it with you, because they don't feel the need to share their emotions with other people. Those emotions are theirs, and they see their emotions more as like a teacher, or like they're the student of their emotions, whichever way it may be. Capricorn moons are just very strong people. They're very resilient, very tough. They'd be perfect in like a very business-like atmosphere that works perfect for them, because their emotions won't get in the way of work. They'll just get stuff done. On to the next one. Aquarius moons. Aquarius moons are so quirky. They're so... Like I said, I just think Aquariuses are weird and quirky, but when you put Aquarius into your emotional placement, they are truly unique. They feel things and express and like interpret their emotions in a way you won't ever think that way. And when they bring it to light, whatever it is they're analyzing, and they tell you how they're analyzing it, you're just like, wow, they just took how they felt and turned it into like a whole science experiment or a whole science project. And they don't just do this with their emotions, they do this with like the people in their life, the way they feel about love, like everything gets taken into like wherever, you know, you're supposed to be processing emotions, and it turns into like little tinkering and tailoring, and then they're like, so this is what I think about that. They have that same like imaginative quality that most air moons do, where the Gemini moon is like using their imagination to think of all of these ways they feel about how their emotions affect them, and then a Libra moon is using their imagination to think of all the ways they want to be in love with people. An Aquarius moon is thinking of all the ways that, they want to rewire their emotions. I can't even like elaborate how it is that an Aquarius moon would use that air quality, because you'll never know. Each Aquarius is going to be different, and each Aquarius is going to be unique individual when it comes to that. They are definitely someone that you'll never meet again with an Aquarius moon placement. Each one of them is one of a kind. They're all very rare, all very unique, collector's edition type of moon sign placement. I don't know a lot of Aquarius moons, but I do know a couple, and they are all very like, you're just like, oh my gosh, where are you from? Like, you are not from Earth. I want to say, as far as like the emotional response thing goes with themselves and to other people, it's very much like almost like a hippie in a way, more like a social activist hippie. It's like the hippie that's out there with the picket signs and like, you know, we're gonna like be active in this radicalism. Well, I don't think it's radical, but it's gonna be like, that's how they treat when people make them feel a certain way or emotions come up for them. It's like a collective experience. They don't think that the emotion is just theirs. It's like, everyone feels this. Oh, we're all going through this. Oh, it's just part of life. It doesn't feel like it belongs to them, if that makes sense. But that doesn't mean that they don't feel things deeply. It's just that it feels like it's more on a humanity perspective, or like we're all in this together kind of feel. A collective thing. And Aquarians are all about the collective consciousness. The last sign is Pisces moon. All Pisces moons that I know are so like sweet, and like I said, just Pisces placements some Pisces placements aren't, and I'll get there when we get there, but Pisces moon placements are very sweet. They're very nurturing. They're very self-sacrificing. They're very giving people. They're very like emotionally ready to take in your pain, take in your loss, take in your love, and channel it and give it right back to you beautifully. They're going to take whatever it is that you put on them, they're going to process it and give you back love. They will give you back hope. They'll give you back like just self-sacrificing energy where you feel like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Oh, you're so awesome. Like Pisces moons are those like old wise soul placements, especially with their emotions. They are like a hippie placement, but like where Aquarius is like the radical, or like, you know, the activist hippie, they're gonna be like the dreamy artistic hippie. They'd be like, imagine someone like in a huge studio apartment, and then like when they feel really sad or upset about something, they're gonna go paint, they're gonna go make music, they're gonna write a poem about it, they're gonna cry, they're gonna write it, you know, in their journal. They take those emotional things they feel, and they create, and they like express it, and they're already in a dream world all the time. So putting that dream world into their emotional responses means that like they can almost feel like their emotions take them away somewhere else, and they get lost in their emotions, and doing those creative things probably helps bring them back to earth, honestly. As far as like the natural like vibe you might get from a Pisces moon, they're very go with the flow, very chill, just kind of very open and loving and peaceful. When they are upset, they do feel it deeply. When they love, they do feel it deeply, like a Scorpio moon placement and a Cancer moon placement. The only difference is, I feel like Pisces moons, since they're already so far removed kind of from the 3D world, and they're already in their own world, when they do feel all of these things, it's already a part of everything that they feel anyway, so they're used to the emotional world. It's not like they're living day to day and then something emotionally happens to them or they feel emotions about something. Everything to them is already an emotional realm. So they don't get affected by it. They just take whatever it is that's coming up and work with it and make it beautiful and make something out of it and like just process it, and then very ethereal. It's a very beautiful placement to have for a moon sign placement, and most of the Pisces moons I know are very dreamy and very loving, very kind people. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys for listening to my moon through the signs. I hope you learned something new about the emotional nature of each of those signs in the moon placement. Take a look at your birth chart, see where your placement is in, see if you agree with it or if you don't. Check out aspects and houses, which we'll get into another video. Do some research too if you're interested. And that's it. Thank you for coming back to the Moon Lagoon. I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Peace and love.